Okay. Do we have any, I guess we do have approval of the minutes of the June 9th meeting. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, properly moved and seconded. Any other discussion or addition or corrections to those minutes?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Motion carries. Move ahead to new business. I'll turn it over to Mark. Are you on the line?
Certainly am, Steve. Thanks.
Over to you.
Yeah, I kind of sent out the numbers this morning. Amy did, so it'll be a little bit easier rather than me just reading them off to you. It's a lot easier to see them. So we're here to request the approval of the real estate value changes for the period of June 9th, 2020 through December 7th, 2020. The net change to the tax base in that period was $39,794,810 assessed. And interestingly enough, that's actually an increase over the same period last year of $445,000. Overall revenue increase is $311,191. There was 1,026 changes during this period. The county current assessed value is $3.66 billion. In 2019, it was $3.62 billion. The increase in assessed value for this one-year period is $44,503,425. We have 313 supplemental bills for new construction going out on September 1. And I was curious about this because since we came back and resumed the field work, as it were, we almost had the same number of supplemental bills in 2020 as we did in 2019, because that's what we've been concentrating on, was picking up the new construction and the commercial construction rather than the typical additions and finished basements and things like that. And out of those 341 supplemental bills in 2020, we only had 28 in the spring because of the shutdown. So we had 313 during this period. So we've managed to capture all the new construction and all the new commercial construction in the county. We're kind of under a deadline because we can't retroactively tax back in. If this was 2020, we can't go back into, or 2021, we can't go back into 2020. So that was our concentration. That's what we focused on.
So, Mark, if I'm to understand this, even after all of the appeals, the assessed value still increased for the year?
It did, Mark, but the appeal hearings were, excuse the term, a bit of a bust. We have 18 that are right now filed in common pleas for 2021. A lot of the appellants couldn't have appraisals done because the appraisers were so busy with the financial situation across the entire state. So the board's going to reconvene in March, and they're going to hear potentially 23 appeals that they did not hear in the fall, because rather than sending them directly to common pleas, they deferred them so that they can make a decision on them before they go to common pleas.
But that would mean that the 2020 numbers would still stand.
The 2020 numbers would still stand, correct. Any of these appeals would be for 2021. Now, we do have a couple pending. We have the big one for the Nittany Mall.
Yeah.
We settled at $18 million on that, which is a reduction of, about $14 million, today's number. So that's going to be a pretty good hit. And we had a couple small ones. Phi Sigma in college, in State College Borough, we just settled that, which is a very small amount to the county. The mall's going to be the hit, and we knew it was coming. But, we just settled that about a week or so ago. The stipulation and order hasn't been signed yet by the judge.
But that's reflected in the current numbers?
No, that's not. Okay. I haven't made that change yet because I haven't received the order from the judge.
Okay.
Mark, overall, how would you say 2021 is going to shape up, considering the impact of maybe some of the lodging facilities, et cetera?
We still have some big projects to come on. I have a fairly good portion of the here already on the tax rolls. I have 90% of the residential, no retail, and the Hillel isn't on yet. I expect the Hillel is going to apply for exemption under a religious exemption request. But I think there's going to be a lot of larger properties come on. The standard will come on in 2021. Toll Brothers is another big one. We have a very small portion of Toll Brothers on the tax rolls right now. You know, it might end up being a little bit of a wash with some of the newer construction we have coming on, the large new construction we have coming on with some of these appeals.
And Mark, it looks like a lot of the units at the Toll Brothers are already occupied.
We have. There's a lot more to come. We have, I'm not sure how many units we have on there right now, but we did a drive-through. They won't talk to me. We actually did a drive-through and determined what units were occupied right now, and then got their financial information off the internet. So we actually kind of walked it and determined what was occupied so that we could get those on the rolls.
So are they allowed to not contact us when we reach out to them?
Yeah, I had talked to them when they first started this project and gave them some ideas on taxes. And then I sent a request for information from them because I was primarily interested in, their occupancy. That's pretty tough to tell what their occupancy is. And, they came back that, well, if we don't have to supply this to you, we're not going to. So that forces us to go out and try and estimate what their occupancy is. And I think we did a pretty good job of capturing that. There's a lot of units that are built but not occupied or not completed out there yet.
Well,
go ahead, Mark.
I was just going to say it's very interesting that a large national corporation with tons of money isn't cooperating with little Center County because it's, kind of hard to tell, especially right now, if they're receiving rent on a unit or not.
Yeah, that's basically what we're up against now. With like the here CA Student Ventures, they're very cooperative in everything that they do here in Center County. Some are and some aren't. It's just the way things have changed. They're not forced to give me that information. But with the internet today, it's not hard to find out rents and things like that.
Well, it's always been my opinion that when you don't receive accurate data, you might as well guess high.
I agree with Steve.
Yeah, we try to, but then it always concerns me when I don't get appeals on student housing because I feel like it's a potential for missing something. The one that's hard to predict is parking income and other income, such as laundry income and things like that, which are also part of the real estate. That we have to guess on. I know what the spots rent for. It's tough to tell how many spots are actually leased. So on that, we do typically guess high on those spots that are leased.
Thanks, Mark.
Sure.
Okay, are there any other questions about the approval of the real estate changes for the aforementioned period?
No.
Oh, I'm good.
Is there a motion to approve those changes?
If you want to, Mark, I'd be happy to make the motion. I'll make that motion.
Second the motion.
Okay, properly moved and seconded. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries unanimously. All right, Mark, the next.
We'll talk about the resolutions next. They're kind of the typical ones that you've been seeing for quite a while. The only one that's a little bit different is Crown Properties LLC. That's the Phillips Hotel. That was purchased and subsequently appealed to the board. It had a very high assessed value on it because it had never been appealed since, if you recall, they had invested several $1 million into that property. and Phillipsburg Osceola and only Phillipsburg Osceola granted tax forgiveness. So we had to do a resolution on that to get that out of tax claim. Really has no effect on the county other than it's a resolution that you have before you. Has no financial impact on the county.
All right. So that's the only resolution then?
Yes. Well, there's 3 mobile homes that were either raised or unlivable, and we had a home that was damaged by fire that we took off the tax rolls too.
Noted. Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the list of real estate resolutions?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Any other discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Passes unanimously. Okay, Mark. Anything else for the good of the order from your end?
No, just the concern over the appeals and where that's going to all end up with the year. Logistically, it's pretty hard to manage these. To try and find appraisers that can do appraisals on all these. The board flat out denied the approach taken by the appraisers during the board hearings. They used what's called a discounted cash flow analysis, which is basically based on speculation of the next 5 years of cash flow, and then apply a reversion rate to that. The reversion rate is also speculative, and the board didn't feel that they overcame the prima facie validity of the assessment, so the board made no changes. Whether the courts feel that way or not, we'll see.
Yes, we will. All right. Thank you. Any other matters for discussion among the board?
If I could, Commissioner, and I know Margaret has been working with Mark Kellerman on this, but this is regarding the STEB/DCD MOU. And since we have everybody together, CCAP has sent out information to the membership, but I don't know if Margaret or Mark Kellerman would want to just talk briefly about this since we have everybody together, because it may be becoming before the commissioners for approval, but since Mark's here and everybody's together, maybe we could talk about that. Margaret, if that's okay.
That's fine, and I think that Mark is in the best position to give an overview of the MOU that you'll be asked to take a look at here soon.
I think the MOU looks fine. The memorandum of understanding looks fine. I had seen this about a year or so ago, and some of our concerns were access to data. So the county turns over its data to a third party and to DCED. Does that then make them liable for right to know requests? Right now, we sell our data through GIS enhanced data, and that brings some money into the county. So that was a concern, and they have it written now that that won't be the case, where they won't be able to sell our data to other companies or provide our data to other companies. That was probably the major concern. The other one was just the thought that, again, counties are forced to pay for software for the DCED through giving up the 20 cents per parcel. Looking at our budget, looking at the county budget, it's $1,000 to Center County. It's not a lot of money to any counties. So the program's good. I like the program. There's a lot of good ratio studies in it and things like that. We can do those ratio studies here, but it's going to be a lot easier just to be able to look those up. If you have any questions or the legislature has any questions about ratios and things like that, it can be easily provided. I am going to, even though I saw this a year and a half ago, I'm going to tune in Monday. We're going to have another demonstration given by Axiomatic for this. I plan on watching that on Monday for a couple hours. But all in all, it is a good program, and I think they've addressed our concerns that assessors had with this program. The other thing, too, was, as I'm thinking about this, they didn't seem to understand all the little idiosyncrasies with Pennsylvania assessment law. And when we were talking to them, but again, I think they've, hearing from them and seeing what they've amended since then, I think it's a good program, and I think it's worthwhile.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I just was figuring that since we're all together, just to give a quick update on it. But obviously the board would have to approve it as a BOC. But thanks for giving just a quick overview.
Certainly.
Mark, when you said they don't understand, who is they?
I think it was more the presenter didn't understand, some of the things that we were bringing up with the assessment laws in Pennsylvania and the way things are done as far as submitting sales data to the State Tax Equalization Board.
Okay, thank you.
Certainly.
All right, is there anything else to come before the board this morning? If
No,
not,
not.
a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Moved and second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
All right, we're adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Talk to you soon. See you later.